Now, your starting lineup for Sports Sunday. Starting at anchor, a 5'4" Air Ace from Centerville, Virginia, and a wannabe Wisconsinite. She's a former cross-country star at James Madison University. Put your hands together for Jen Chapman. Also starting at anchor, a 6-foot Leo from Birmingham, Alabama. He's got a degree in graphic design from ITT Technical Institute. He's a father of 3, B.J. Millican. This is Sports Sunday.
We'll call it the culmination of a difficult week for Alabama football. Reports that sophomore receiver Cam Sims tore his ACL at practice yesterday. The 6'4" big man had 7 catches and a touchdown last season for the Tide. He was expected to play a role in the offense this fall. Obviously, that'll set him back. Welcome in, everybody, to Sports Sunday. The news started coming out Saturday morning, and none of it good for the Alabama football team.
Defensive back Geno Smith arrested for a DUI on Saturday morning, and then last night, defensive lineman Jonathan Taylor arrested for domestic violence. Taylor was already on a very short leash due to pending domestic violence charges in Georgia, where he played for Mark Richt and the Bulldogs before being dismissed. The defensive lineman was arrested around 6 o'clock last night. The victim in the case had injuries to her neck.
And Nick Saban released this statement this morning. Not a surprise that Taylor is no longer a member of the football team. I'm sure we're going to hear more from Coach on this incident and the Geno Smith arrest after practice when Coach addresses the media tomorrow. So we cross from outside of the lines back inside where it's fun. The final 2 pieces of the Final Four puzzle were put together today.
Kentucky and Wisconsin are all set on one side of the bracket. Let's find out who's going to be in on the other side.
Let's do it. Let's have some fun.
Rick Pitino and Tom Izzo have been here a time or 2 or 7. Second half, Terry Rozier on the steal, and he gets the open dunk. Easy for him. Louisville up by 7. Later, Spartans up 3. Travis Trice going to make it 6 as he buries the 3-pointer there. Cardinals were up by 1 with a minute left, but Marvin Clark Jr. with the bank shot right here to give Sparty a 1-point lead. Are you not entertained?
Yes.
And Louisville would make 1 free throw to send this to OT, but it's a Spartan takeover in overtime. Clark Jr. sends ahead to Denzel Valentine.
Magic.
Hey, magic. Michigan State advances to the Final Four with a 76-70 win.
All right. Sorry, I'm all over
One's in. There you go.
There you go. Who the Spartans play? Duke facing Gonzaga. Things going right for the Zags. Hot potato. Finally ends up in Byron Wesley's hands. He gets the hoop plus the foul. Gonzaga feeling it. But Duke gonna Duke. That's Jaleel Okafor with the nice touch. 9 for him. Romo and Jason Garrett loving it. Then the dagger. Under 3 to play. Justice Winslow. Justice for everyone. Drains the 3. 16 for him. Coach K going to his 12th Final Four, tying John Wooden for the all-time record. So here it is. Next Saturday, it's Wisconsin, Kentucky, Michigan State, and Duke, the best of the best in college basketball. Wildcats are going to attempt to win 2 more to become 40-0 on the year. That's pretty good.
And go ahead, BJ. Why don't you brag about your Final Four?
You know, we're talking about perfection here. I picked the entire Elite 8 and the entire Final Four, so go me.
Golf clap, golf clap.
I'm going to be taking my ticket to Las Vegas. Anyway, the Alabama softball team was also seeking perfection this weekend. They won 2 games against Texas A&M, so they were going for the sweep today.
But the Aggies are ranked, so it wouldn't be easy. And here's what happened. Alabama looking to complete the sweep of Texas A&M. And do we have the highlights?
I don't know. Let's see.
There they are. Woo -woo. And the Blue Angels are flying over, so we've got the top of the second, scoreless no more, as Callie Lamphere crushes that one over the park for a 2-run shot. Aggies led at that point in the 4th. A&M was now up 6-3, but Alabama looking to come back. Danae Hayes singles a pair, cutting the lead to 6-5, but that would be all for the Tide. Lamphere gets a hold of another one, this time a 3-run bomb, making it 9-5 after just 5 innings. The Aggies add 2 more in the 7th, salvaging the finale 11-5.
The Alabama softball team wrapped up their weekend series at home against the Texas A&M Aggies Sunday afternoon, and were looking for the sweep, but unfortunately dropped the final game of the series 11-5.
To come out and lay an egg on the last day is really disappointing, especially when you have 3,000 people, just ready to cheer for you, and we just couldn't. You know, our starting pitching wasn't very good, our relief pitching wasn't good, our defense wasn't good, and we didn't make enough adjustments on hitting. So it was pretty much an 0 for day.
Despite dropping Sunday's game, Alabama still won the series, and the upside for the team is that the bats are starting to get hot.
I think it was important for us to win the series, especially being at home. And I think our offense really came alive on Friday and Saturday. Unfortunately, I don't think it really was the case for today's game. You know, we put up 6 runs, so you can't say your offense was completely dead. I wish we would have, you know, scored a little bit more. They score 11, we got to score 12. But overall, I think the series was a good platform for us.
Well, the Georgia Tech midweek was good. Friday, Saturday was real good. I think we had 8 hits today. We just didn't put them together, you know, like they did. When you score 4 runs and 3 in an inning, it's a big difference.
The Tide will conclude their homestand with 2 weekday games, Tuesday against Mississippi Valley State and Wednesday against Southern Miss, all before traveling to the Bluegrass State for a weekend series with the Kentucky Wildcats. Reporting at Rhodes Stadium, I'm Andrew Clare, WVUA Sports.
9th-ranked Alabama tennis taking on 10th-ranked Vanderbilt. The Bama ladies took the doubles point, winning all 3 doubles matches, but ultimately they fell 4-3 to Vandy with only 2 singles wins. Those came from Danielle Spielman and Maya Jansen, who was a returning NCAA champion. Emily Rutliff fell to 12th-ranked Sydney Campbell. So the Sprint Cup guys were racing at the track today known as the Paperclip.
That's right, the Paperclip in Martinsville, Virginia, your home state. Close quarters there. They're really close.
It's actually pretty far from where, but okay,
well,
go
it's
ahead.
your home state. Come on. Joey Logano was on the pole for this race. Ryan Newman started second. He was looking for his 2nd career win at the track, but it was Denny Hamlin battling Brad Keselowski on the final lap. He got a little left tap right there, but Hamlin hangs on for the win at his home track. The Virginia native, just like you, takes home the grandfather clock. Look at that. Best trophy in all sports. So now he's always going to know what time it is or something like that.
And to the final round of the Valero Texas Open, Jimmy Walker, a San Antonio native, came in with the lead. Here he is on 16. He knocks down the long birdie to get him to 10 under for the tournament. He had a 4-shot lead, and he wraps it up here before getting mobbed by his kids at the very end and his wife.
Got him.
And congratulations to Jimmy. Still, we have more to come on Sports Sunday, a very active day on Saturday in the college coaching carousel.
That's right. We're going to hear the latest on Alabama's pursuit of Wichita State's Greg Marshall, and we'll welcome in Jen Bates of KWCH in Wichita. Tells us what she's hearing on the ground out there. Does Bama have any shot? We'll tell you. It's next.
It was one of the first names to crop up when Alabama fired Anthony Grant 2 weeks ago. Wichita's Greg Marshall has been firmly in Alabama's crosshairs, but things got hairy on Saturday when Texas let go of Rick Barnes. The Longhorns want Marshall as well. So it could turn into a bidding war between 2 powerhouse programs with very deep pockets.
That's right. And to discuss that now, we bring in Jen Bates. She's a sports anchor at KWCH in Wichita, Kansas. Jen, Greg Marshall has turned down big jobs before. What makes this situation different, and can Bama or Texas pull Greg away?
Well, Greg, you know, he's very much a believer in the grass is not always greener. And if you just come at him with money, he'll balk at that every time. Greg didn't come from a wealthy family. He didn't come from a coaching pedigree. He didn't come from any sort of blue blood background whatsoever. So if you pay him $500,000, he thinks he's dead. So the money can't be the only thing you bring. The thing Greg wants is competition and the ability to be the best year in and year out. And you see that a lot in his players. You look at Wichita State's team, these guys weren't highly recruited. These guys aren't McDonald's All-Americans. These guys are your guys that initially were turned away by the big schools. The big schools turn up their noses at them. And that's what happened to Greg. I think he was really almost offended in a way when he was coming out of Winthrop that he didn't get a sniff from South Carolina then or any of those schools, because he's a Carolina guy. That's where we thought originally he would go back until Frank Martin got that job. But Greg really wants a place where basketball can be number one, or at least close to number one, and he can have the ability to play in these big-time games every single year and every single regular season, and not just have it be a flash in the pan like their game against KU.
Having said that, do you think it's realistic to expect Greg to consider an offer from Alabama?
I think he'll listen to any offer, but I honestly think Alabama is not going to be a number one choice for Greg. I mean, Anthony Grant, I'm a fan of because I went to the University of Florida when Anthony was the defensive coordinator kind of guy, along with Larry Scheib, who's now at Wyoming. They were under Billy Donovan. So I really liked Anthony Grant, and he did great at VCU, much like Shaka Smart, again, another Billy Donovan guy at VCU right now. But let's face it, with the SEC, I'm an SEC girl, it's football, and that's how it's always going to be. In Tennessee, Bruce Pearl has something at Tennessee. He might have something at Auburn in the next few years, but let's face it, Tennessee fans want the Phil Fulmer era back. When it comes to football, they want Peyton Manning still. So basketball, unless you're Kentucky in the SEC, is not to get. It's just dessert at all. Billy Donovan had a great run, but even now, Billy Donovan's down. So, it's kind of. I really feel like Greg wants Texas, and that's my gut feeling on that. And also from talking to other people, that's kind of where his head is leaning, where he wants to be is Texas, which is interesting. I thought he would want to go back to the South, but from everything I've heard, people close to the program, people close to Greg, he wants Texas.
And regardless of what he decides, what's the timeline look like, and what's the latest that you're hearing?
Well, we're doing the whole flight tracking thing today. There's a flight coming in from Austin around 5:30 Central Time to Jabara Airport, which is a private airport here in Wichita. I think if it is a thing with Texas, that it will be done this week, no later than this week if it's going to happen. Maybe in the next few days, but definitely by Friday. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen by Friday.
All right, thanks, Jen. Definitely an interesting week ahead. Shaka Smart also considered one of the top candidates there. We'll be back next with our favorite things on Sports Sunday. Stick around. We're back on Sports Sunday. There aren't many stories anywhere better than this one. It's time for our favorite things. And this week, it is that smiling face right there. Leah Still, the daughter of Cincinnati Bengal Devon Still, got some great news this week.
The originator of the hashtag Leah Strong on Twitter is now cancer-free. The 4-year-old is officially in remission. Devon Still said that Leah will still need more treatments to make sure the cancer doesn't return. But it's great news for that little girl. And so with such great news and a great story, that is what we're going to end our week on and what you get to start on for the next week.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for watching tonight. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow at 5, 6, and 10. Gary Harris bringing you the comments from Nick Saban's post-practice press conference. Good night, everyone.